This meeting is being recorded.
Hi, everybody. It's Stacy Sobel with Data-Driven, and I am here with Charity Hudnall from Vagaro, and she will be one of our featured speakers at Data-Driven. And you're going to be covering the topic of client retention. And what kind of secrets are you going to reveal during that session, Charity? Without giving it all away, give us a little taste.
Well, just a little taste, something that I do work with a lot of our customers on is just really around marketing and engagement. So that's a huge piece of retention. And salon, just like a lot of other industries, find that there are peaks and seasons, right, throughout the year. There's prom, there are weddings, there those types of things. But how can you count on that recurring revenue? So one thing that I do want to show all the attendees that are coming to the Data-Driven Summit is that 80%, it can be up to 80% of your future revenue that actually is attributed to a great client retention program. And there's tons of ways we can do it and explore. It's something that I believe all salon owners and business owners in general should focus on. I'm in marketing. I've been in marketing for over 20 years. I've also been a business owner. So I really have some great secrets to share.
Great. And client retention is one of those metrics that I think really tells a salon owner how each individual stylist is performing. Because If one stylist numbers are really high and others are low, you've got to kind of unravel why that is. Right. And it could be, it could be the soft skills and the consultation and how well they connect with a client, or it could be the technical skills, but kind of having that as an identifier it's a good metric to kind of judge each individual.
Absolutely. So the proof is in the pudding, right? The proof is in the metrics. And there are a ton of different things that you can explore, but obviously there's a secret sauce to certain things. So how do you kind of get that secret sauce and bottle it so that all of your stylists can be successful? Because your stylist success is obviously your success, right? And I'm sure they're all learning and trying to figure out, like, how do I gain that leverage? How do I keep my clients? How can I count on recurring revenue so that I don't have to consistently focus on getting new clients all the time and spend my efforts there? So data is really important in this. We have some very simple reports, some very simple ways that we can identify very quickly, where certain stylists can use some help, a little bit of a nudge, a little bit of nurturing. We can explore those areas for sure. But yeah, it all does come back to the data and just seeing that it's right front and center for you, nothing that you have to work too hard for, right? It should be super apparent, right? And then just kind of figuring out how does that apply to that secret sauce so that everyone can be successful.
Yeah, and owners should really be spending their time with the people in their salon trying to figure these things out, not trying to analyze and do the calculations on the metrics themselves.
Absolutely. Yes. You should have an engine behind you that does all of that work, right? I mean, we're in 2022, so there's a ton of intelligence that, you should just be able to pop up a report that's already pre-made for you and take a look at some of those little nuggets of where you can make some adjustments and spend time with your stylist. And take the time to just really kind of nurture them in the places that they need to be nurtured. That's where your time should be mostly spent.
And one of the things we're really focusing on this year with Data-Driven is your team's happiness, your team's satisfaction, eliminating burnout and trying to retain them. But client retention plays into that, because the more successful they are in the salon, the more likely they're going to stay in your business and also in the industry, which is really important right now.
Very important, and very important that it's made easy for them as well. Right. So not just you as a business owner, right? But if it's also too hard for them as a stylist to try to figure out, where are those areas, what can I do? Why am I not successful? How can I leverage my time as well? So it just really is important that they feel like it's simple, right? That you can just kind of hand them something that's proven and has data behind it, but nothing that they really need to super analyze or take a lot of time to figure out. It should just be there. Like I said, the proof is in the pudding. You know, it's not rocket science. It's not anything that, you know, should be too overwhelming. It should definitely be something that's easy for them to implement and they can see success right away.
And one of the things a lot of people have said at Data Driven that are really comfortable with their data is having the data and the numbers behind you makes it easier to be a good leader, because it's not you complaining to the stylist about why they're not, that you don't think they're performing well, and they just take that like, you know, she doesn't like me. It's here's your numbers. What can we do to improve these? Where do you think you're going wrong here? And
right.
it's the metric. It's a metric that's giving them the bad news, not you necessarily.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's funny. I just worked with my team on the gift of feedback, right? And giving that gift of feedback, you know, you don't want, it's not just opinion, it's having the data behind it that's really kind of supporting it. And what happens is you'll see that your stylist will start to get used to looking at that data themselves, right? And it won't just be you saying like, hey, here are your numbers, here, you know, here are some gaps that I see, but they'll start to look for that themselves and start to have that self-improvement, which is really what you want, right? You really want them to be individualized, be empowered. You don't want to have to be the one that's kind of being that's the bearer of bad news all of the time. But it takes really opinion out of it. And I think you'll see more respect coming from that feedback, right? When you have data behind it. And then also they'll just get used to like looking at that data for themselves, and you'll start to see that improvement over time just based on, you know, them being empowered to implement those, you know, little fixes, that secret sauce and those little nuggets that you've given them over time.
I love that phrase you used, the gift of feedback.
Yeah.
I think I might leverage that for a column someday. And just because I'm always curious about everybody's work situations, and Zoom really takes us into everybody's environments, I'm curious about the board behind you.
Sure.
There's a lot of stuff going on there. What is that board?
So this board, actually, it's a board that my whole team can see. Just like business owners, we're always creating, we're always coming up with new projects, we're always trying different things. So this board really represents some of our open projects, our open ideas. And it's truly therapeutic when you're able to kind of put an idea on the board, make it come to fruition, right? And then cross it off the board and see that you've actually accomplished it. So there's something about that visual component. And that's what data does as well, right? If you look at data and you look at it over time, that same report, you start to see improvements over time, and it's super therapeutic. It's very rewarding. It's something that not only you can be proud of, but also that your stylist can be proud of as well.
Well, Charity, thank you so much for spending some time with us. We can't wait to hear you present at Data Driven, which is in Nashville, May 15th and 16th. And we'll hear all about client retention and ways to improve that metric.
Thank you, Stacy. Thanks for having me.
Take care.
You too. Bye-bye.